The pros and cons of working with the independent label are what are you? Here we go. Welcome to Music Talks. I'm your host, Dave, and some people know me as Prophet. Today's industry talk topic is business in the entertainment and media industries. We're going to be going through the pros and cons of big business versus small business, where some of us get a little confused on which direction we want to take. I'll give you a better understanding today about how you can make the decision on which lane you want to jump into, whether it's big business or small business. I'll give you the pros and cons on them. So you may be asking yourself, which direction should you take? Should you work with an independent label and work your way up from there? Or jump into a major if you have that opportunity available? One thing first and foremost is to make sure that you get your knowledge. Knowledge is key. Learn as much as you can before you jump into any form of a contract. If you're working as an independent contractor and you're just utilizing a studio space, that's different. However, when you want to be a part of a label as a recording artist, a music producer, audio engineer, doing some marketing maybe, whatever it is that you're trying to do in that area, and you have to sign a contract to an indie label or a major label, it is important to know what lane you want to go into, how it can benefit you, and what are you going to be applying in that position of work to make sure that the company is also benefiting from you being there. Let's start with the pros of working with an indie label. So working with the indie label, of course, you have more options to be able to mess around with inside of the studio. You could be an artist that's also doing photography maybe in this independent studio if they have one. You could be a music producer and also become an artist in that situation if they don't have any artists that quite fit the style that you want to cater and you're that perfect fit. The movement that you can put yourself into when you're with the indie label just flows a lot easier. You're able to actually talk with the owner, the CEO of the company, and have more of a relative background with them where you can resonate with them and open the door for more possibilities. The cons of working with an independent label, there might not be a major outlet for distribution for your product to go a long distance. So it's going to have to be outsourced into other labels, which is another partner connection. So your label that's indie may not have all of those pieces in place for you to reach and maximize the exact goal that you have in mind. There could also be a situation where you are doing all of the work or most of the work yourself. And that can be a tough job, especially if you're just starting out. Now, the pros of working with a mainstream label are the opportunities to rise in the food chain very fast, especially if you're talented and you're utilizing your connections effectively. You could also find yourself with a bigger advancement versus that indie label that might not have a complete budget to put a package together for you to have an advancement to start work on your project the way you would like to. Also, you will have more opportunities to involve yourself with familiar artists that you want to work with and partner with. You will have other people who can help you out with marketing. You'll have all of these things in place that will pretty much help you drive your career faster when you're working with a mainstream label. Now, the cons to working with a mainstream label come into the process of trying to reach higher levels of success within a major, because there is going to be more of a competitive approach. So your creative ideas are limited when it comes down to a mainstream label, unless you have a very strong and affirmative approach when you get into that industry. It's up to you whether or not you want to take the approach of working with an independent label or a mainstream label. So the choice is yours. Remember, you are your own limit, and learn as much as possible. Whether or not you want to be a part of an indie or a mainstream label is determined based off of what it is you need to apply when it comes down to your craft. Are you someone who is trying to learn more and become a part of the music industry? Or are you somebody who is more well-rounded and wants to become a part of something bigger? So the choice is yours. Hope you guys learned something from this. Please give me any suggestions on other topics that you would like for me to go through. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more videos like this one. Thank you so much for having me, and I'll see you next week.